Look, I think Apple knew exactly what they were doing with the iPhone Air. But now that we're a few months in, it is pretty clear. It's not selling the way Apple expected at all. But that's not because it's a bad phone. It's actually a great phone, but I think it's because it landed in the weird middle. The middle that Apple has been struggling with. It seems that most people walk into an Apple store and look for the most affordable option or look for the best option. And honestly, I tried to be the person who buys the iPhone Air. I switched to it full time. I wanted to be that person. But, well, I'm back on the iPhone 17 Pro. And the reason is pretty simple, but also surprisingly complicated. There are a ton of rumors going around right now saying that the iPhone Air is not getting off to the start Apple wanted. Production has been slowed, millions of units have been basically canceled. In fact, we have heard that the next generation, the iPhone Air 2, has been put on pause. And honestly, man, that bums me out because I absolutely love this phone. But I think it's launching into a lineup where its strengths are really just not recognized or not noticed. This isn't the cheapest option, that would be the 16E. It's not the most well-rounded and affordable option, that's the regular 17. And it's not the most advanced option, that is the iPhone 17 Pro. The Air lives in that middle ground, and that middle is really a tough place to stand out. It's not that the iPhone Air in itself is weak, it's more that Apple hasn't really made it clear why it exists to begin with. And that subtlety, well, it makes it a hard sell. But here's the thing, I love the iPhone Air. It is my favorite iPhone by far of this year and the last 5 years. It's light, it's comfortable, it's simple, it is just refreshingly straightforward. It feels like a new generation of iPhone. And it feels like the kind of iPhone Apple used to make before things just got heavier, more pro, and just more packed with features. All things that I like, but this is just a great refresh. The Air just has this nostalgic feeling about it, and it's something that you can just fall in love with instantly. But loving something and living with something, well, those are two different things. Hold up, I gotta interrupt this video. I just got some new information about a great Black Friday deal that you're not gonna wanna miss, and it's from this video's sponsor, Kinsta. Kinsta is the #1 provider of managed hosting for WordPress. So if you run a website, especially during these holiday times where there's more traffic, more issues, and you just don't want to deal with those anymore, well, Kinsta has a solution for you. They offer you a ton, like enterprise level firewall protection, there's an SLA backed uptime guarantee of up to 99.9%, and up to 200% faster performance when using Kinsta for your site. That's a lot. Now, Kinsta is trusted by over 140,000 different companies, and these are companies you have heard of, and they were ranked #1 in WordPress hosting by G2, and they beat out 357 other companies to get that title. So that is a huge nod to their credibility. And what's great is if this sounds like something you want to use, well, they make that process super easy. They can help you migrate your site over so you don't have to worry about that. And if you ever do encounter any issues, they give you 24/7 live support. So if an issue ever pops up, which it probably will, let's be real, well, you can talk to a real person, someone who knows what they're talking about, and get your problem fixed super fast. So if this sounds like something you want to try, this is the absolute best time to do it with their Black Friday deal. All the way until December 2nd, you can get 6 months free your annual standard plan. And if you want to go monthly, you get 50% off those first 6 months on those standard plans. And every plan comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so check out the link down in the description or use this QR code which has been on screen. The deals don't get much better than this, so this is the time to try. Loving something and living with something, well, those are two different things. And so, for now, I am back on the iPhone 17 Pro. And really, it's for one simple reason. The cameras. Apple went hard this year with the camera system on the Pro, marketing it really almost as a camera over a phone. And well, that makes sense because when it comes to cameras, it is extremely hard to beat what the iPhone 17 Pro is doing. And to make it very simple, I'm a content creator for a living. I make videos for a living. So having good cameras is, well, a must. And originally, I actually bought the iPhone 17 Pro to serve as just a camera. I wasn't using it with my SIM card. It was just there for me to get shots and use in that way. But the problem came when I found myself without this phone and when I needed to get a shot with the iPhone Air. That single camera that you get, although it is great and works really well for general shots and taking great photos, as soon as you needed really any flexibility, well, it just wasn't there. I constantly, almost nearly daily when using this camera, found myself wanting for a wider lens. And when I wanted to zoom in, sure, I have that 2x mode, which does actually work pretty well. But as soon as you start going beyond that, well, it becomes a bit of a muddy mess. And I'm not even talking about all the pro camera features like ProRes, ProRAW, ProRes RAW, all of those. Those are great and I love them, but those weren't really even my issue. It was the actual physical hardware. And so that is why my SIM card is now in the 17 Pro. But even if you're not a content creator, honestly, if you've been on an iPhone for a few years and you go to the iPhone Air, well, you're probably going to be having a downgrade because iPhones for years at this point have basically had 2 cameras. And so if the camera is at all remotely important to you, well, this is definitely something to consider. And I think this is why we've seen rumors that Apple has been considering adding another camera to the iPhone Air, because I think for a lot of people, going back to one, it's just tough. And if the iPhone Air had just one more lens, well, we probably wouldn't be talking about this right now. But here's the thing, even though that is my personal reason for switching from the Air, I don't think that makes it a bad phone. But I think it's struggling because the phones around it are just louder and they make more sense for more people. If you want to save money, well, you have either the 16E or the regular iPhone 17. If you want the best camera, you go Pro, and if you want the best battery, you go Pro Max. Not to mention, you get colors, vibrancy, a lot of different features that I think many customers are actually looking for. But I think for a lot of people, the bigger reason why they can't stomach the Air is the price. Now I think, and this might be controversial, that this phone is actually worth this price. The engineering, the feel, the function, it's there for me. But considering it is only $100 cheaper than the iPhone 17 Pro, for a lot of people, that is just too much to stomach, especially when you get more battery, more camera, more performance out of the 17 Pro. And it makes people feel like they're paying more for less with the iPhone Air. The Air, though, is the quiet one, the thoughtful one, the one that actually makes sense when you hold it, but it just doesn't scream its value when sandwiched between the other options. It is, I think, a fantastic product in just a really tough spot. The iPhone Air, I mean, it does so much right. It's the most comfortable iPhone to use. It has that clean, classic feel that you expect from an iPhone. The battery, honestly, is not an issue. The performance is great with the A19 Pro, and it's simple in a way that just feels intentional and honestly refreshing. It really just feels like the kind of iPhone Apple used to make. And that's why this is a phone I intend to keep, and I'm gonna give it another shot because I absolutely love it. And so that's why I think if you're someone that values the simplicity, that refinement, that ease of use, and that kind of disappearing that the iPhone Air does so well, well, this is something I think you should still give a shot. But if you're someone that relies on the camera, that is a creator, or someone that just wants that flexibility, well, it's still a tough call. The iPhone Air is the phone I want to use, but the iPhone 17 Pro, well, that's the phone that I need to use.